Hello there, everybody. I'm mrgameandpie, and welcome to a new series. Though this might look like kind of an older series, but no, I assure you this is a new series. This is Touhou Easy Mode, where I'm going to be playing through Touhou's 10 through 16 on Easy Mode, since that's a mode that I can actually play effectively. But yeah, this isn't the first time that I played Touhou 10 on my channel before. In fact, that is... to note, that is the game that is currently being played right now, Touhou 10 Mountain of Faith. But on that time, I played on normal mode, and that caused a lot of... Right on top. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I realized that, hey, I can't really play these games on normal mode very effectively, especially after I tried to make a Let's Play of 12. That didn't quite go correctly. But, you know what? I realized that, hey, I've managed to 1cc, which is to get through the game without getting a single game over. I managed to 1cc basically all the easy modes from 10 to 16, 11 and 14 notwithstanding. So I figured, hey, how about I make a series where I do that? Where I play the difficulty mode that I can actually play effectively. Because, you know, I do really enjoy these games. I enjoy the characters, I enjoy the lore, it's a lot of fun stuff. And the easy modes, they exist for a reason. They exist for people that can't play normal mode, which is, it's me. Despite having 1cc'd basically every easy mode from 10 to 16, I don't think I've ever beaten a normal mode of any of those games at all. But hey, look at this, it's our very first boss. I mean, I guess technically there was a mid-boss before this. The Aki sisters here, I never actually talked about them back in the Let's Play, so hey, I'll talk about it now. The Aki sisters, they're the goddesses of fall, basically. One involves the falling of the leaves, and one involves the harvest. This one involves the harvest. And surprisingly, I believe that this sister is the younger of the two sisters. And yeah, she's the one that's the boss. So hey, something that I kind of brought up in my Touhou 12 Let's Play is that grazing is a thing. Basically, if you get really close to a shot, but don't actually touch it, you'll graze that shot. But the thing is that in this game, grazing shots doesn't seem to do anything at all. So that's kind of disappointing. No, the normally grazing shots is a way to gain a bit higher scores, like much higher scores, and maybe even get an extra power-up or two or something. But in this game, not really. I think it does give you an extra point or two, but that's about all it'll do. No, in this game, the way you really want to increase your high score to incredible levels is by staying at maximum power. You know, at the beginning, we saw red drops, blue drops, and green drops. Blue drops give you points, green drops increase the number of points that the blue drops give, and the red drops increase your power. And as we can see off to the right, our power is currently at 5, which is its maximum. Going from 0 power to 1 power gives us our homing shots that home in on enemies, and then, you know, going from, you know, 1 power all the way up to 4 power just increases the amount from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Then 5 power comes around, and 5 power is somewhat superfluous. It doesn't actually give us another series of homing shots. But what it does do is it makes all the drops that would normally be red, well, it makes them green now. So now, every time we would have gotten a red drop, we get a chance to increase the amount of score that the blue drops give. On top of that, something that normally appears in these games are bombs. They're a way to save yourself in case you run into an undodgeable situation somehow. They'll destroy bullets on the screen, they'll make you temporarily invulnerable, and they'll do massive damage to bosses. And in this game, normally bombs are their own separate item. You collect them much like how you might collect lives or points or something. But in this game, they're directly tied to your power. Using up a bomb will use up a single point of power, and so having 5 power means that you can use a bomb without losing any of your extra shots. Although after that, using a bomb will use up some of your extra shots, so you gotta be a little bit conservative with them. Although not as conservative as you might normally be whenever they're a much more limited resource in other games. And hey, check this out, it's Hina Kageyama. She's a misfortune goddess. She takes the misfortunes of others and gets rid of them, basically. She's definitely one of my favorite characters. She's pretty cool. She is a friend of humans. Plus, she has some really great music tracks. I listened to a lot of Touhou music before I played any of the games, and Hina's was always one of my favorite tracks to listen to. It's really fantastic. Both her stage theme and her boss theme. Absolutely beautiful. Also, due to the nature of her theme, the Dark Side of Fate, the name, for a long time I thought that Hina was like one of the final bosses of the games. But, nope, she's stage 2. I definitely wouldn't have seen that coming. Then again, the creator of the series, I think it's either Zun or Zun, I don't really know how to pronounce things effectively. But, he likes to mess with people that way. Because the very first boss of Touhou 6 had the power to manipulate darkness. And that character was the first boss because it's like, oh man, that sounds like a really powerful ability, let's make this character significantly less competent than she potentially could be. Gotta play with those expectations. And, yep, Hina definitely played with my expectations, that's for sure. Alright, the Flawless Fortress. This is also a pretty cool level. With another really good song. But yeah, now that I'm playing easy mode, you can expect a lot less death than in my normal mode playthroughs. Like, a lot less. I'm still probably going to die at some point, though. Such things are pretty much inevitable, especially whenever you're making a video on something. It's the whole Let's Play curse, even though I wouldn't necessarily consider this series to be a Let's Play necessarily. My Let's Plays are normally much more formal than this, and this is just me hanging out and playing Touhou on easy mode. Oh man, it's Nidori. She's pretty great. She's a Kappa. But I'll talk about her more later, whenever we actually, talk to her for more than 2 text boxes. Alright, here we go. One thing that I never really get to appreciate during regularly playing the game is the backgrounds and how they often change during various spell cards and other events. Oh no, not the optical camouflage suit. We also have homing shots. And apparently a camouflage suit can't trick homing shots. So that's appreciated. But yeah, in this series, Kappa, which is what Nidori is, are super genius inventor types. So that's pretty cool. Notably in this game, Nidori is characterized as being very shy and nervous around humans and such. But she would later go on to appear in quite a few other Touhou games, most notably the fighting games, and even be a playable character in those. And she becomes significantly less shy in those games, many claiming that she becomes out of character in them even. Or perhaps that she had a sudden character change. Alright, time for Nidori's boss battle. And yeah, she's pretty cool. A lot of her attacks are water-based, which makes sense as Kappa are traditionally seen as water-based creatures. Kind of like turtles. Oh, at least a little bit turtle-y. I often have a little bit of difficulty with this spell card because you have these shots coming out from the sides of the screen, and they'll change their verticality at various points. And often I'll be so busy dodging the shots that Nidori herself fires that I'll end up getting distracted from a sudden verticality shift from those shots. And hey, check out this big attack. It's like a big old wave of water. And it's probably the most dangerous spell card that Nidori has here. Definitely the most random XD. Here we go. I don't know, for some reason, Nidori gives me the impression of somebody that would use that terminology, like, oh man, so random XD. I feel like that's just me, though. I've never seen her characterized that way by literally anyone. That's just the impression that she gives me. And there we go, Nidori's down. Alright, here we go. It's Stage 4. Now, last time I recorded Stage 4, things didn't go very well. At all. Like, whatsoever. It was pretty terrible. It was a bad time, one might even say. But this time, this is, well, this isn't normal mode, so I should be able to handle things fairly effectively. Yeah, hey, maybe I should talk about the plot now. So, typically in Touhou games, the first 3 stages are very light on plot. You might get a plot detail here and there occasionally, but in most games, the first 3 characters you fight, the first 3 stages you go through, pretty much unrelated to the overall narrative going on. It's where Stage 4 where things become not only much more difficult as far as gameplay goes, but also far more relevant as far as the plot goes. Alright, so here we have a pretty cool character. This is Momiji. And she is a white wolf tengu. I mean, you know, I like dogs. Dogs are cool, even if wolves are only somewhat dogs. And she also has a sword, even though she never seems to use the sword at all. Like, I mean, obviously she didn't use the sword there, but like, she also appears in a couple other games and continues to not use the sword as far as I can tell, which is disappointing. She also has a shield that she equally doesn't seem to use at all. But yeah, she is a guard dog. And if you ever watched my Let's Play of the game, you'll find that normal mode, she does a really good job of it. But on easy mode, she's significantly easier to defeat, as we just saw, you know, moments ago. Alright. Suddenly very durable fairies spitting out stars all over the place. I guess since stars are plasma, I guess you could say that they're really spitting out some sick fires. Oh, that's a joke right there, guys. It's yep, that is what that is. There we go. But Tengu typically aren't dogs, as far as I can tell. Typically, they're represented as birds. And here we have Aya, and she is a bird. Specifically, she's a reporter Tengu. Alright, so here we have Aya. Aya is not especially difficult on easy mode. So all the explosions that we saw back on my normal mode Let's Play, they won't happen here. Although this spell card even on easy mode, I still can't seem to comprehend how to dodge this thing effectively. It is very bizarre. I can't ever tell that there's a pattern with it necessarily. But I guess I did this time, so that's nice. Yes, 2 interlocking series of rings. Not too difficult. Aya does like to fire her bullet patterns in circular shapes. Not entirely sure why, but that's what happens. And hey, check this out. It's the Wind God, hidden in leaves. This is a nice little spell card. I enjoy it. I really like the pattern that it creates. It's really wonderful. But it's not too difficult to dodge, especially on easy mode. And now more interlocking series of rings. I just really like the look of most of Aya's spell cards. They just really look cool. And here we have the final spell card in normal mode, or on easy mode. On normal mode, there would be one more spell card that she would do. It would be a timed spell card that we'd have to survive for a certain period of time. But, yeah, this is easy mode, so it's not going to happen. And there we go. Not too difficult. Just have to squeeze yourself between the lines. And we continue to move on. Alright, now this is a pretty cool level right here. This is a cool level with a cool character. So we're definitely getting to one of the highlights of the game, really. The wind blows on the sacred mountain, the Moria Shrine. Reimu, the character that we're playing as here, is a shrine maiden, meaning that, well, she takes care of a shrine that a god inhabits. And, you know, previously in other games, this was the Hakurai Shrine, was the only shrine that we really knew about. It's the only one that was ever talked about, it's the only one that was ever discussed. But, this game really is all about a rival shrine showing up and saying, hey, this is our turf now, get out of here. Or at least, that's the way that Reimu and company seem to have taken it anyway. But now here we are. This is the rival shrine, apparently. And it seems to be quite infested with fairies. And here's the shrine maiden for this shrine. It's Sine Kochia. Or Kotia? She sure does have pronunciation. That's for sure. So yeah, all the characters that we fought so far were either yokai or gods. But here, Sine is a human. Yep, we're fighting a human. And she's pretty tough. Oh, okay, wow, she actually got me. The first death of the series. Sine is quite the dangerous individual. And honestly, this is one of the spell cards that I've always had difficulty dodging. I still can't seem to perfectly comprehend how to avoid it. Alright. Now this part gets a little bit tricky as Reimu because, well, the things are really durable in this section. And Reimu doesn't have the highest DPS in the game, especially not with her homing shots. Her homing shots do sacrifice damage for, well, homing. So you can focus more on dodging bullets rather than firing your own. Alright, here we go. It's Sine. Well, while I did say that Sine was a human, she also qualifies as a god at the same time, because people believe in her enough. And that's the thing about Jinsokyo. If you believe in something hard enough, then maybe it'll become true. And man, oh man, people sure did believe in her a lot. But hey, yeah, most of Sine's various spell card names are based off of miracles. So that's a neat little touch. Go. This spell card isn't too terribly difficult. Just gotta be a little bit careful to stay between the lasers. Alright. Okay, this is a... Oh, okay, I somehow dodged that. I probably should have bombed there, but I didn't. So that worked out, I guess. Alright, so yeah, Sinae's theme is one of my favorites in the Touhou series. Like I said previously, before playing any of the games, I listened to the music a lot, and Sinae's theme is one that I listen to a lot. It's just really cool. It's very different from most of the music you find in the games. It has a more metal feel to it, or maybe a rock feel to it. Which does kind of make sense, because Jinsokyo exists in its own little bubble. It's separated from the outside world. But Sinae is from the outside world. So her music sounding a little different from the typical themes that you might hear is certainly logical. Alright, here we have Sinae's final spell card, I believe. This one isn't too terribly difficult, you just gotta stay near the bottom of the screen. A lot of people play these games by staying at the very bottom of the screen and just dodging on the X-axis, not ever bothering going up and down at all, really. This isn't the most efficient way to dodge, but, you know, it's much more comprehensible, I guess you could say. Yeah, Reimu doesn't appreciate being put out of business. She's the kind of gal that'll beat up anyone. She'll beat up you, she'll beat up your friend, she'll beat up your dog, she'll beat up herself if she has to. Nobody is safe from the Hakurai Shrine Maiden. Aw man, this Freyry's going nuts. But not nuts enough. Alright, yeah, I love this final song here. Because, yeah, this is the last stage in the game. We're about to take on the final boss here in the imminent future. Ooh boy. Time for dodge. There we go. That wasn't too bad. And that's that! That is probably the most savage comeback ever. Alright, it's time for Kaneko Yasaka. She is based on an actual goddess of, I believe it's the Shinto religion. Though I can't really say that I know much about the actual iteration of this character. Still, Kaneko is what stopped me last time in the Let's Play. So let's see if I can get a little bit further. Which is to say, to the end of the game. Oh, okay, there we go. Not dead quite yet. Alright, so here we have a pretty basic concept of Danmaku games. There's the shots that will home in on us. Most Danmaku games either exist in a pre-existing pattern or as a pattern that aims directly at you. And so the ability to slightly move side to side and then all of a sudden burst over to another direction to misdirect the shots aimed directly at you is an important skill to have in such games. And it's not a skill that I typically have all that much. Now that spell card that I just passed there was actually one that gave me a lot of trouble for a lot of time. It seems like whenever the bullets go from big to small, You don't become... Oh, that wasn't good. They don't become as small as they appear. It seems like those bullets have bigger hitboxes than they should have. Oh boy, this section. So there's all these knives that home in on you, but they don't all start moving at once, so you have to have a clean, slow movement across the screen, or else you could have a problem. And of course, all the while, you still have to dodge all these giant circle shots that are coming at you. Here we go. Oh, okay, got it, got it. And there we go, that's that. Unfortunately, now we get to one of the more annoying attacks that Kaneko has, because she's invincible for most of this attack. Alright, now we have the knives again. Oh dear. Alright, fortunately the green attack isn't too difficult to avoid, and this attack isn't too difficult to avoid either. It's mainly the one with the homing knives that I have difficulties with. And here it comes again. Alright, seems like we made it through that one. Her health bar is almost down. I don't think we'll have to dodge the knives anymore. But we're gonna get close. Yes, okay. Alright. But there's still more left. Just have to be careful here. I do hope that Kaneko stops soon. Oh no. Well, I didn't quite make it through that as well as I wanted. Alright, well there we go. That's it. This is it. It's the final spell card. Now, here's something to note about easy mode. It's not necessarily the way that you're supposed to play the games. It's not very well tested. And as a result, sometimes spell cards end up being harder on easy mode than they are on normal mode. This is one of those spell cards. The very last one in the game. Due to the fact that these cards move, that is, these bullets that look like cards, move so much slower than they normally do, it causes the screen to get filled up quite a bit more than it normally would. And as a result, it becomes very easy for you to get trapped in an unwinnable situation. Now, I previously mentioned that you can use bombs to get out of unwinnable situations, but unfortunately, typically, the final spell card of the game, the boss is pretty much immune to bombs. They're going to be severely nerfed from how they normally are, both in damage and in screen clearing capabilities. As a result, easy mode can be very... Oh, okay, I actually meant to bomb there. There we go. Easy mode can be very difficult in this game to clear, even if you're good at normal mode. And there we go! I made it! I may have failed the bonus, but that's okay. And hey, new high score. So, I just skipped the ending, because it's generally requested that people not show the endings to these games. But, now, we've completed Touhou 10. And that's just the beginning of Touhou Easy Mode, everybody. So, with that said, I'm mrgameandpie, and I'll meet you next time for Subterranean Animism. See you then.